So I'm trying to forgive the people that have wronged me because I think it'll genuinely help me out. You know how they say hating someone is like continually to drink poison. It doesn't really affect them, it just makes your life worse. So I'm trying to forgive. And this is something that has helped me that I thought I might share. The brain will always do the thing that is the easiest or the most efficient. So when people make decisions, a lot of the times, someone who makes a crazy decision that doesn't make sense to themselves or to the ones that love them, it leaves everyone confused. It's very easy to blame that person for everything that went wrong. But then that creates a situation where you're unable to forgive, and then you're just fucking yourself over. I like to think of heroin addicts. I think they're a good example of this. How it's like if you know someone who's a heroin addict and you go up to them and say, just stop doing the heroin, you're clearly destroying your life. Why would you choose to do this? You could die, you could lose everything. And I think without being in that person's shoes, we fail to realize that that person who's living on the streets like a goblin and flirts with death all the time, that is actually a safer option for them than the alternative, which is to get sober, which is to go through withdrawal, which is insane when you're doing heroin. But more so, it's being able to live after that, to live in this hell that we live in without a crutch. That going through all of that's actually harder to imagine than, or it would be more difficult to do that than to just give up and waste away and just bide your time. That it's actually harder to have all the hope and go through all the pain and suffering of getting better. It's safer to continue doing the heroin. And I think that a lot of people, when they don't have an intimate connection with their subconscious, there's so many fears that they have around certain things that they don't know that they have. So the worst option, the option that includes betrayal or pain or self-sabotage, those are safer options for that person to make that decision than the thing that they said they were going to do, or the thing that makes sense to do if you love someone. And I think that people make these mistakes in relationships because they don't know how much fear they have around certain areas. They're not able to look at the reality of what's the full scope of how they really feel about the whole thing. And so it's easier to attribute malice to the situation when really it's just immaturity and incompetence. I saw it on some TikTok. Never attribute to malice what is likely just incompetence. And that helps me forgive.